How's everybody tonight? Friday night. Of course, it was a short week, but still, Friday night. Always a good thing, right? So we are opening two things. Half case of autographed mini helmets that we started the other night, and then we're going to start a brand new case of Bowman's Best Baseball. Before we get ripping into boxes and packs, though, a little information to go over. First up there, a note about feedback to let you know that I have mine automated. So that just means that you don't ever have to wait on me. Anytime you leave positive feedback for me, you will instantly get it in return. Second message, of course, the far more important one, is to say thank you. I do appreciate everyone who bids and breaks and chats and hangs out with me. You guys keep me company, and I'm always glad to have you join me. Even when you're not in the breaks, I always like for people to come by and hang out. So stop by anytime. We are looking right now at breaks that are coming up over the next few days. This is the stuff that's already listed on eBay that we're going to be breaking over the next 5 days. You'll note there, of course, we've already talked about this. I'll probably take that note down here soon. But our new earlier start time, of course, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. We'll probably stick with that through the winter and then evaluate it at that point and decide what we want to do from there. So tomorrow night we're opening one thing and one thing only. It will be a full case of Optic football. On Sunday we're going to do an Onyx Premier Gear baseball break. That's a player break. So the spots will be listed by the player name, not by the team name. And that is actually game used stuff, and it can be any manner of game used items from what I'm told. We will then dive into a 10-box case of Leaf Best of Football. That one is always an awesome break with scorchingly hot hits in it normally. So on Monday night, we'll open a Hit Parade triple play baseball box. It'll have 3 autographed memorabilia items in it. Another 8-box case of Playbook football, which I believe is the last of the Playbook football, at least the last that I can think of that I have. Also, Monday night will be a 12-box case of Contenders basketball. That is the final case of that I have on hand as well. Tuesday night will be Leaf Best of Football one more time. And for some reason, I don't have that note up there at the top. But redemption cards have their own bidding spot in both those breaks, guys. Leaf Best of Football number 1 and Leaf Best of Football number 2. And the redemptions in this case are not what you would think, as in they're, this is a buyback product. So the autograph cards and things are going to be in there. If we do pull a redemption card, it will be for a piece of memorabilia, or it could be for an unopened box, or perhaps some sort of rare unopened pack, that sort of thing. That's what the marketing material says anyway. Also, Tuesday night will be an 8-box case of Bowman's Best Baseball. On Wednesday, we're going to open TriStar Hidden Treasures mini helmets again. It will be the start of a new case. We're going to open Optic again on Wednesday night, but it's a little different configuration. It's going to be the first off-the-line Optic. There's more boxes per case, 14, more hits per box, and hardly any base cards. So it's a much faster break, but you get more hits in it, lower numbered, better kind of quality stuff, and more boxes per case. So there you go. That ought to be fun. And also on Wednesday, we'll open a 12-box case of Leaf Ultimate Draft Baseball. That is a Wednesday release, and it looks to be packed as far as the hits in it. So once again, looking forward to another solid Leaf product with that. So tonight we are, of course, opening the mini helmets first, and then Bowman Draft Baseball second. The mini helmets have free shipping, so anytime you do a break with me that has free shipping, I always project it to go out the door to you no later than a week from the day it breaks. Now, often it goes out the door sooner than that, but that just means it will go to you no later than Friday the 11th. Our paid shipping break tonight, which is Bowman Draft, right now I'm projecting that out as a Wednesday shipping date. I know that is later than normal, guys. Still just, trying to get caught up from where I was sick and the holidays, etc. And I'm hopeful that I can get that out to you faster, but I really am not certain that I can. So for now, we're going to stick to Wednesday the 9th, and I'm just going to try to get it out as quickly as I can. Consolation cards, you don't need to worry about those in Bowman Draft, but if you are in the mini helmet break, it does apply to you. If your team is not the team that is pulled, you are entitled to a consolation card. It can be from any year and any series. Because that is a free shipping break, I typically just hang on to your consolation cards until the next time you have a package going out. I do keep track of it for a rolling 90-day period. If you don't want to wait for that and you don't hit in the mini helmets, drop me a line and let me know. I can get it to you on the way by itself with no problem. So first up, the 5-box half case of 2018 TriStar Hidden Treasures Series 2 autographed mini football helmets. This is break number 8. And everything we're opening tonight ended tonight on eBay Friday night, the 4th of January. Team names, of course, are on the left-hand side. Our winning bidders are across from it there on the right-hand side. New spreadsheet will go up before we do Bowman draft. So if you're in that break, which will be coming up here momentarily, you'll get a chance to see your name up there then. Last of all, I am getting ready to set the focus manually. When that happens, you're going to see the background go out of focus a little bit, but don't let that concern you because we're still going to be able to see the cards and all of our stuff up all nice and close with no problem. Now, guys, this is the back half of a case. So these boxes are all the stuff that's left over from what we opened the other night. They're all numbered on the end, you see there. That's because when we started this case, we took each one of these boxes out. We numbered them on the end, and we used random.org to determine which one we were going to open, or which 5 we were going to open in the first part. And what's left we're opening tonight. So in chat tonight, we have Greg is here. Christopher's here. Benny Blaze is here. Hi, Benny. Clinton is here. You have Detroit. Latchman is here. Latchman, I'm doing good today. I feel pretty good today. I think I told you all yesterday I was feeling good, and today I'm feeling almost back to normal. If I could just shake that last little bit of a cough, I would be in perfect condition. So we're getting there. We're getting there, but thank you for asking. Okay, so first up, this is a Houston Oiler. For those of you who may not be aware of this, cards and items always stay with their franchise, okay? So what does that mean to you? It means that this goes to the Tennessee Titans because the former Houston Oilers are the current Tennessee Titans. There's your authentication sticker on the back. It's Robert Brazile. You've got just a little informational card here. And then this TriStar is a generic one. That isn't actually tied specifically to your item. I think it's just if you scan it, it brings up the thing where you can enter the information that's on that little authentication sticker on the back there. So first out was for the Titans with Robert Brazile. Capo's looking for the Broncos. All right, let's try to find the Denver Broncos. They probably are about due, aren't they? We haven't seen any Bronco mini helmets in a little while. They're probably about due. Vince Young. We've got a collegiate helmet here. You know what that means. When we pull a collegiate helmet, it's going to go to, if there is an NFL team listed, it will go to that. If there is not, it's going to go to the team that he played for the longest. And it does, right there, it says he was the 3rd overall draft pick of the Titans. So I believe that's probably going to head off to the Tennessee Titans for Vince Young, but we will double check that. Authentication there on the back. If that's the case, that's kind of crazy, right? Because that's going to be too many helmets out. Both of them going to the Titans. Isn't that kind of outrageously good luck if you have the Titans? Bear with me for a moment, please. I am jumping right now into NFL.com so I can just go ahead and get Vince Young all squared away here. I don't remember if he played anywhere else or not, but that's what we're going to find out right now at our good old friend NFL.com. Yeah, it looks like he played 1 season with the Eagles, but of course, Length of Service is going to send that to the Titans. For anybody who might not be familiar, there's where we numbered that one, with how that works, it is listed in my description down there in that area that is called Special Circumstances. It talks about all this sort of stuff, like franchises that have renamed and relocated, things that are collegiate items, all that fun stuff. It talks about right there in that part of the listing. So the Titans had our first 2, but they don't get our third one. Third one heads to the Redskins. That is Bob Beathard. And there you can see it with the Hall of Fame inscription on the back as well. You've got an authentication sticker. It's kind of unusual in that he's like signed it on the opposite side of the way they usually are. You know, usually when you get them, they're signed and the face mask is facing to the right, and he signed it on the opposite side. Kind of, I mean, not that there's technically a right side or a wrong side. It's just they're usually signed on the other side. Strange, right? A little bit strange. Maybe it's just me. Probably just me. Okay, I'll admit it. But I do get used to a pattern. I get used to it being a certain way. And it's like, wait a minute. That's backwards. That is not the way. Oh, look, this already fell out of there. Helmet's not even out of the box and a little card shot out. So we knew before it even came out of the box that it was going to be Andy Russell for the Steelers because the card shot out. So there's your, Indeed, your little informational card. Again, this TriStar thing is just a generic thing. And inscribed as well, 7-time Pro Bowls written on there, your Andy Russell signature, and of course, hologram authentication on the back. So Pittsburgh Steelers involved, and one you don't see very often, honestly. I mean, when's the last time you pulled an Andy Russell autographed something for the Steelers? Not too often, I don't think. Oh, Greg, you said the Phillies signed a pitcher. Who'd they sign? Who did they ink today? Somebody big name? You know, we're all still just waiting on that Harper Machado derby to find out who's going to end up with those two guys. Well, this would have been nicer a few weeks ago, but it's Kareem Hunt for the Kansas City Chiefs. And there's your authentication on the back from TriStar. You also have a Kareem Hunt himself has an authentication sticker, which is attached there as well. And, of course, your informational card and your TriStar generic. So, yeah, the too bad on that, right? I mean, well, not too bad. It's obviously still got value, but would have been a little nicer had we not had recent events transpire with him. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Okay, so let's recap our mini helmets. We have the Kareem Hunt for the Kansas City Chiefs. And bear with me, guys. I think I'm just going to write on top of these boxes as I put them back in there. That will save some time later. And I know you think, well, why does that matter? Well, every little bit of time I save somewhere just means something gets out the door faster to you. Andy Russell for the Steelers, our second tonight. Or not necessarily the second we saw, but the second one in the recap anyway. Then we have the guy that signed on the opposite side of the helmet than we're used to. Freaking me out a little bit. That is Bob Beathard for the Washington Redskins. And the last two, believe it or not, both go to the Titans. That is crazy good luck if you have the Titans. Out of 5 mini helmets that you end up with 2 of them, not too shabby if you've got the Titans. You've got the Vince Young there. Of course, again, that is on a collegiate helmet, the signature is. But it is, of course, then going by length of service to the Tennessee Titans. He certainly played the most seasons there. And then our final mini helmet is Robert Brazile. Of course, the former Houston Oilers are the current Tennessee Titans. So they're taking that one home, too. How about that, if you got the Titans? So that is this half case of mini helmets. We do have one more case of these TriStar. I think the first half of the break will be, 5 days from tonight? I think I listed it tonight, so it should be Wednesday of next week. All right, give me 1 second here to get my case of Bowman over here ready, and then we will get started on this. So, I'll put the spreadsheet info up here again, but this is the start of a new case. So basically, what that means to you is that we're going to take all the boxes out of there in a second, and I'm going to number them on the end, and then use random.org to figure out which ones we want to open tonight and which ones we'll be opening in the next break. Chances are everybody saw this a second ago. If you didn't, here's the information you need to have. Of course, consolation cards aren't going to apply to Bowman Draft. Shipping date does. As I mentioned before, I know that's a little slower than I normally get stuff out, guys. I'm trying diligently to get us caught back up, but there were so many days there where I was sick, I just got behind. So doing my best to get us back on track, but should be out the door to you no later than Wednesday on Bowman Draft, and I will do my level best to get it to you sooner. It will be 4 boxes of 2018 Bowman Draft Baseball Jumbos, these are. It's a half case break. It's break number 5, start of a new case. Also ended tonight on eBay Friday night, the 4th of January. Same format that you are accustomed to. Team names are on the left. Your name is up in lights, or rather your eBay username is up in lights across from your team on the right-hand side. And that's what we're looking at for tonight. So, Christopher, you said the Phillies signed David Robertson. Okay, or Robertson. Hi, Clinton. How are you? Sorry, guys, I had to use my inhaler there for a second because I've got a little touch of, still a little touch of sickness hanging around there. When you've got asthma, any little light coughing, weird stuff can kick off your asthma to flare up a tiny bit. So we get the fun of the inhaler. I know. It means I'll be up half the night. Let's do this a little differently so that I've got more space to stack these, I think is a better way to do it. All right, hang tight there. I'm getting there. Just got to get it all out of the case. It's in there very snugly, but that's okay. That's what we would want. We don't want them in there just rolling around going crazy. Then something would end up getting damaged potentially. So again, just numbering these on the end, very simple. I'm going to take you with me over to random.org, whereby we will type in I will type in 1 through 8. I'll hit random one single time. The first 4 numbers that come up will open those corresponding 4 boxes. All right, it gives us 1, 8, 4, 3. So 1, 3, 4, and 8 is what we're opening tonight. 1, 3, 4, and 8. All right, so let's remove 2. 3 and 4 can stay together. How handy is that? Oh, yes, life is good. And then there's our number 8. All right, so there's our 4 for tonight. Let me put these other 4 back into the case, and then we'll get rolling. All right, Scott's here. Hi, Scott. Christine is here too. Christopher, are you asking me who I'm a fan of, or are you asking somebody in chat? If you are asking me, I'm a Cincinnati Reds fan. I know, right? A hard life when you're a Cincinnati Reds fan. At least it's been a hard life for the last, I don't know, decade. No, not really that long, but long time anyway. Seems like about 50 years. But yeah, I'm a Reds fan for baseball. I'm a Steelers fan for football. Although I have a great deal of appreciation for other football teams too, I'm definitely Steelers first. Okay, so if you've never done a break of Bowman Draft before, we're looking for 3 autographed cards per box in here. And like any of the top products, we're lucky in the sense that their jumbos are organized the same way every time. So we're going to be able to just really kind of blow through the base on this, which is nice. Then we'll find some chrome cards in here that will not be refractors. We'll find any inserts that might be in the middle. And then after that, we will find ourselves 2 chrome refractors kind of bringing up the tail end. So this is how every pack basically is going to be configured. So those were base. Here come our like 5, I think it is, chrome cards, or in that case, it looks like 6. Our insert is a Bowman Sterling Continuity Brady Singer for the Kansas City Royals. Then our 2 chrome refractors that we find every pack. This one, of course, the Dodgers and the Mariners. And then we are right back to paper base. So that's kind of how our packs are going to be configured. Of course, we are going to find numbered things in here and parallels and all kinds of other interesting things along the way. But they're all going to fall in that same little spot in the middle of the pack, kind of in that same way. Jackson, we have already done the mini helmet break. Yeah, that was first up tonight, so we have already finished that one up for today. And the only other one, of course, we've got is the one we're working on right now, which is our Bowman draft break. The only other one for today, anyway. Guys, we'll find tons of these. Each one of these cards has 2 different teams on it, as you see. So I'm going to set it up there in what I call our housekeeping area. And in that housekeeping area is where we place things like redemptions, where we go on to the Topps website and verify the team at the end of the break and all that kind of stuff. So we'll be doing that at the end of the break. All of those cards that have 2 different teams on them, we'll award them using random.org. So that's how that will work. Yeah, Christine, I tell you what, that big red machine is about the my favorite Reds era as well. I mean, that's the Reds from the 70s, basically. You know, that's your Pete Rose, Johnny Bench era. And, you know, if you're a Reds fan, it's hard to have any other era be more fun, I think, than that one. That was just a great time to be a Reds fan. And it certainly hasn't been much fun being a Reds fan in recent years, but, I mean, what are you going to do? You can't jump off the bandwagon just when they're bad. We just keep hoping they're going to get good. But honestly, our farm system is pretty good. So if, it's actually really good right now. So if they don't trade away all our prospects or do anything dumb, we may eventually get ourselves sorted out here. Of course, I've been saying that for a few years. We're going to find this insert several times along the way, and that, of course, is not an actual signature. That is just a facsimile signature. So a signature that is printed there on the card on that particular insert, but it's still, you know, pretty cool little insert. We probably, of course, obviously we got the back half of this case. We're going to do the same way we're doing this one, which means all the cards are shipping. But when we do the next case behind that, we may do some stuff as full cases and not have the paper ship, or the paper will, paper base either won't ship or will have its own bidding category or something like that if we break it by the full case. That's just due to the sheer volume of cards involved. Numbered to 250 for the Twins, you have a little Graterol, and that is the purple parallel. That one was paper. There's our base chrome coming out. Looks like we might have ourselves our first autograph in it. Now that one is an actual signature on the insert. That's not the printed one. That is a heck of a hit. I like this kid, Travis Swaggerty, and that's numbered to 99 for the Pittsburgh Pirates. So if you've got the Pirates, I think that's a fantastic hit. And I like that you get it on the insert because those are not nearly as common, of course. And it's a cool looking card. So congrats to you if you have the Pittsburgh Pirates in here tonight. Getting things started off well. I do love the fact that we can count on our jumbos to be organized the same way every time. It makes it so much more efficient for breaking. I wish everybody would do their packs like this. Numbered to 402, that is Mitch Keller for the Pirates. Basically, guys, when you see this color and it's on chrome, it's going to be numbered to 402. When we see that color and it's on paper, it will be numbered to 499. course, at least Panini did get a little bit in the swing of things. They did reconfigure their Donruss baseball, or basketball rather, their Donruss basketball for this year. They reconfigured that from that dreadful, you know, zillion cards in a pack, zillion packs per box thing to a jumbo type configuration this year, and took a little bit of Topps advice and did put most of the hits and things in the middle. It had some sort of an organization to it, which made that experience a little nicer for us all, I think. The Diamondbacks are going to hit here with Alek Thomas. This is our second autograph out of box number 1. So the Diamondbacks with one and the Pirates with the other one out of box number 1 thus far. Well, we do still have, even beyond this case, I don't know, I think maybe another 2 or 3 cases of Bowman Draft. So we'll be breaking Bowman Draft probably even on through the rest of this month. I might even hold some of it back and do some in February. I don't know. We'll see. We've got more Bowman's Best as well, of course. To 402, Cody Clemens and the Detroit Tigers. It's Roger's little boy, I do believe. I guess not so little anymore, but his young son, I guess we should say. Sure, he wouldn't appreciate being called a little boy very much. But, you know, you think about somebody that older and, you know, you think about their kid from when they were little. And all of a sudden they're grown up. But I did see Christine, I saw a schedule for the Reds Caravan. And they're going to make us stop in Lexington at the Red Mile this year. So I might have to go out and see the Reds Caravan here in a week or two. This is numbered to 499 for the Mets. That one is paper. Simeon Woods Richardson. Yeah, so I don't know. I think it's maybe the 19th or somewhere in that general vicinity. They're going to roll through Lexington. I need to pay attention to who they're bringing with them, though. Nolan Gorman and the Cardinals autograph hit. Our third and final one out of box number 1. But Reds Caravan's always kind of cool, you know. I mean, you get a chance to meet the players or whoever they bring. It's usually a couple players and a couple of you know, team types. Could be front office people or whatever, and then usually one of the mascots is how the Reds Caravan rolls along, and they try to do some outreach every year. They kind of need to a little bit, right? Because again, it's hard being a Reds fan lately in recent years. This is numbered to 250. It's Lenny Torres for the Cleveland Indians. Oh, Sean Jelly, I love that guy right there. Love that guy. Nice refractor for him for the Giants. And I got to say, don't see it come out all that often for the Giants. I mean, some, but not as often as I would like to see it come out anyway. Of course, he pitched for UK. Well, you know what? My sister loves Pete Rose, too. I was always more of a Johnny Bench kind of kid. But my sister always liked Pete Rose, still does. We got into a big debate at Christmas when we were at my dad's house. My dad and my brother-in-law, my sister, and myself. My stepmother wisely did not get involved. But everybody else, we were debating back and forth about Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame and all that. Yeah, we got into a whole, it was turned into a whole big Christmas dinner discussion about Pete Rose. That is numbered to 50. It is Alec Hansen for the White Sox. And of course, that's our gold parallel. But that's how you know that you come from a sports family, right? When you're sitting around at Christmas and you get into debates about sports figures from the 70s. It's like, wait, what? Probably not what most people talk about over Christmas dinner, but hey, we had fun. Well, Joe Morgan too, sure. I mean, you know, all those guys from that era were really, really great guys. I mean, Big Red Machine was, as I said, that was the time. That was the time to be a Reds fan. The heyday, the glory days, if you will. But we're going to get there again. It's just taken a whole lot longer than anybody ever thought it would, I think. Poor Joey Votto, you know, right? That guy will be like long gone by the time we get ourselves straightened out, I'm afraid. Though he seems to be fairly content, you know. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't like losing all the time, but he's not one of these guys who's freaking out saying, you better trade me because I'm tired of losing. So, I don't know. I guess he's kind of all right. Maybe he figures he makes enough money, it doesn't matter. I don't know. Maybe he just likes the community. Who knows? Anyway, he doesn't complain about it too much. He did do a couple little interviews last year where he got a little grouchy, I recall, but it's rare for Joey to say much of anything about anything. In a bad way, I mean. Brandon Marsh and Delgado are our two refractors out of that pack. We shouldn't be... We're not too far off, I don't imagine, from seeing Topps Series 1 2019. Will probably be showing up here in a few weeks. I haven't really seen an updated Topps schedule. I asked for one. They haven't sent me one yet, presumably because they don't have a new one, but I would think we're not too terribly far from seeing some 2019 Topps starting to rotate through things, I would imagine. But in the meantime, the Leaf Ultimate Draft that's coming on Wednesday looks like it's going to be very solid. I mean, all the Leaf stuff is always nice. Of course, everything's on card, hard signed autographs, ready to go out of the box, and top loaders and sleeves and the whole deal. Usually, they're reasonably small checklists, and you get really nice hits out of them without as much work as it takes you to get them in some other things. I do know Ohtani signed for it. I think maybe Acuna did too. And then, of course, there's loads of prospects. This is to 99. It's for the Oakland A's. It is paper for Dallas Woolfolk. But, of course, you know, I haven't seen the full checklist for it. We all know Topps is kind of notorious for, or Topps, Leaf is kind of notorious for not getting that stuff out in a timely manner. However, if you look at the marketing sell sheet, you can get an idea of some of the players that are in it. Meanwhile, Detroit Tigers, look what you just got. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, baby. There is the class of 2018 insert with our number 1 overall draft pick, Mr. Casey Mize. That is numbered to 250 on that insert. And if you have got the Detroit Tigers, congratulations. Nice hit for you there, Detroit. That is the first class of 2018 that we have pulled live as well, by the way. We may have had some redemptions. I can't recall about that, but I think that's the first one we pulled live regardless. We're about to see our next autograph out of the very next pack. Oh, no, we're not. But he was faced backwards, I thought we were. It must be a short print then, or an image variation or something for Jackson Kowar. If he's turned around backwards, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's one or the other. It's very likely either an image variation or a short print of some sort. Because typically they don't have them flipped around, as you know, either from watching this break or watching others. Most of those packs open up the exact same way. I don't know about where you guys are around the world who are watching right now, but it has rained here all day long, and I am so glad that it is not snow, because we would be buried if this had been snow. This is numbered to 499 for the White Sox, Lindsey Delgado, and that one is paper. It is definitely starting to get colder, though, so I'm afraid it's going to, like, somehow flip over and turn into snow and make me really sad, but I just don't like to navigate snow. Well, how about that? Now, this Jackson Kowar that was flipped over actually is autographed. What are the odds of that? For the Kansas City Royals. So all of our autographs kind of coming out of this box right there together, aren't they? All showing out at the same time. It's 42 in Minnesota today. Okay. Oh, hey, I have a question for you since you're in Minnesota. I just noticed this today, but apparently, and I know that I should know about this, but yet I do not. eBay is suddenly collecting tax in Minnesota and a couple of other states, and there's like no option for me to not collect it. It's in there and grayed out and like just part of the invoice that you can't touch or adjust. This is numbered to 402 for the Houston Astros. That is the chrome variation. So I'm assuming then, Christine, that you guys must have passed some sort of a law that is making that a mandatory collection. And I'm going to have to call eBay and find out, like, what is going on with that. So are they taking that money and are they filing those taxes with the state of Minnesota? Or am I supposed to be filing some sort of sales tax with Minnesota? Like, I have no idea. And it definitely doesn't affect all of the states, but I happened to notice tonight that it affected Minnesota. And as I said, it's completely auto-filled, like the state was auto-filled, the percentage was, and none of it could be changed. It was grayed out permanently in there. So it must have taken effect on the 1st is what I figure. But what I don't know is anything else about it. So I'm going to have to call them and find out. But in the meantime, I guess you must have noticed it, Christine, right? Because I mean, I'm sure anything you're buying, you're now seeing that on eBay, that they're tacking on the tax. I mean, for me, up to this point, it had only been Kentucky, which is where I'm based. And, of course, I know how to file and report and pay here in my home state. I don't know what's going to happen with all these other states. So, crazy. Craziness. For the Yankees, we have a little Albert Abreu. Guys, I call this the sparkle insert. And I know that Topps probably has a better, more official, formal name for this pattern, but I don't really know what it is, so I call it Sparkle, and that's what Panini would refer to it as, so I kind of generically am calling it Sparkle. There's a nice Jesus Sanchez on a refractor. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're having to pay it because there's no option for anybody to remove it or do anything with it. Like, it's baked into the eBay software, basically. But what I don't know is then what am I supposed to do with it? So I don't even know if we're getting it. So in other words, I don't know if that amount is being backed out before we get paid or if that amount is being billed to us on our monthly invoice and it goes back to eBay and eBay pays your state or what? Because they didn't send me any information about that. Just all of a sudden there it was. But if it's being collected, I need to know what in the heck's going on with it. Tristan Casas for the Red Sox. That's a Bowman Sterling continuity. So I'm assuming then your state must have passed some sort of law, Christine, requiring that all residents of Minnesota must pay, must pay sales tax for online purchases. I don't know. Well, right, I'm with you. If they expect me to keep track of all that, I mean, that's going to be awful. Like, I'm just one person. I don't know how in the world I could keep track of all that for all those states and know all of their sales tax law and filing requirements and stuff. I mean, that's bizarre. I think that eBay's got to be handling it somehow or another, but I do not know how. So, yes, Christopher, as I mentioned a little bit ago, everything is shipping in this particular break. And in some of our future breaks, it may not. And as always, it will say in the listing description if not everything ships, okay? So in future breaks, we're probably not going to have the paper shipping, and or the paper will have its own bidding category. But unless it says that in the listing description, then everything ships. It says Soto to $499, paper for the Tigers. So when we start doing the full case of this, you know, I'm not going to ship all that paper because it would just be too many cards to do a full case and ship it all. So some breaks in the future will not, but this one for now does. To $499, Grayson Rodriguez for the Baltimore Orioles. But just in general, guys, the best way to get answers to all those kinds of things, it's always going to be in that listing description if something is outside of the way we would normally do it. So if there's extra bidding categories or things don't ship or, you know, whatever is different than the norm, it will always, always, always be written right there in that description. This is for the White Sox. Delgado to 250, chrome parallel. So Christine, you didn't see any message from them either about it then, I guess. I thought maybe I had just, that it had gone into the black hole that is my eBay inbox, and that I had just missed it. But it sounds like maybe you haven't seen anything about it either. So I don't know. Guess we'll have to go in and figure it out. Or I'll have to call them or something. All right, we have 2 boxes down and 2 boxes left to go. So we are right now at our halfway point for this half case of Bowman Draft. Yeah, honestly, if we didn't ship the paper on stuff, we could probably break full cases every single time if there weren't so much stuff to sort. But I have found a lot of people like to get the paper, so I do tend to do most of the breaks with everything shipping, and then we do a few where it either doesn't or it breaks out into its own category or something like that. And I think you said it was 42. I'm thinking back up there a minute ago. You said it was 42. And then, like, right below that, Buckeye said it was 82. And Buckeye, I don't know if I saw you earlier. So, hi, Buckeye. If I didn't see you or speak to you when you jumped in earlier, hi to you tonight as well. So, Buckeye wins with 82 degrees. I think we all need to go live with Buckeye. Get out of the cold weather. I mean, it's not super cold here, obviously, or all that rain would be snow, but it is definitely thinking about becoming winter again. And we have ourselves a blue paper parallel to 150. That is Louis Robert for the White Sox. Our chrome. And our little 2-team deal up there. And another hit for the Detroit Tigers. You have Parker Meadows to 99 with the green parallel coming out for Detroit. Of course, you already have your nice Casey Mize hit to kind of keep you company in this break. And now you've got Parker Meadows jumping in to join the fray. So Detroit doing quite well so far. Buckeye, you just been hanging out? Did YouTube give you that you're chatting too much message again? I can't believe I never knew all these years that did that until somebody told, Scott or somebody told me, hadn't been that long ago. You guys just told me a couple weeks ago that if you chat too frequently or something, that it comes up with some automated message and tells you that you should not chat so much. Oh, that just kills me. Like, there should be a way to disable that. if you wanted to. Like, I don't want anybody put in chat timeout. That's silly. I say, you know, fast as you can type, go for it. That's the way I look at it. Cincinnati Reds, it is Mike Ciani to 499. Paper, blue parallel. My Reds had a heck of a break last night. I mean, such a good break in Bowman's Best. There's a nice Madrigal. That was a refractor. And in fact, maybe the best break I've seen yet for the Reds in Bowman's Best. It was really, really good. Pulled some awesome stuff. A redemption, you know I'm mean. I know, cruel and unusual punishment. I leave them face down till the end of the break, and we flip them all over, one right after the other. Check them out. Buckeye, you've never seen what? Which? What? Are you talking about last night? Are you talking about all the stuff that came out for the Reds last night? Or something different? You know my mind, like, jumps around from topic to topic. And there's a slight delay in chat. So, oh, I bet that's what you're talking about. That's to 250. It's Irizarry for the Texas Rangers. That is paper. Yeah, I bet you're talking about the automated message. So if you've never seen it, try to type in like a bunch of stuff right in a row. Like try to type in 3 or 4 chat things like right in a row really fast. And apparently it comes up and gives you some message that says something like, oh, you're chatting too much. Why don't you take a break or something really weird. Yeah, try it. Type in like a bunch of stuff right in a row right now and see what happens. This is Cole Roederer for the Chicago Cubs, first Bowman. Yeah, I had no idea, literally no idea it did it until, I think it was Scott that told me originally that happened. Because he said he used to think that I was doing it, that I was somehow like controlling those messages. So I was like, dang, I wonder if other people think that. If people think, you know, that whoever's on this side of the camera is the one telling them either not to chat, because it is not. Some kind of weird YouTube automated thing or another. Here comes Alex Fadu for, you got it, the Detroit Tigers. That is blue parallel to 150. Another 2-team card. Gonna hang out up there. Pardon me. Did not cough on my hand, don't worry. Always into an elbow or a shoulder, never onto the hand. Yeah, believe me, I wash my hands about 8,000 times a day. Because, you know, you always got to wash them before you handle the cards. And so my hands are always torn up, but especially in the winter time. Because, you know, also you can't use lotion, really. Unless it's, like, right before I go to bed. Because then it'd be worn off by the time I get up the next day. But other than that, can't do that either. Because you can't have it getting on the cards. Uh-oh, my screen's trying to time out. So I got the newer iPad, which I believe came today. I haven't had time to open it or deal with it yet. I did, however, see UPS drop it and all of my other packages, which was my brand new printer, my brand new iPad, and something else. They dropped it all today off the truck into the street and into the gutter where it laid in the rushing rainwater. So I was like, oh, wow, that's excellent. Tore a big hole in the box, the whole deal. This is Bobby Bradley to 25 for the Cleveland Indians, our first orange of the night. So I'm hoping all that stuff is okay, because it's all, you know, work-related stuff. I'm using it all for the breaks, but that was pretty crazy. My driver has a helper that, you know, joins him around the holidays, and he's still got him. They've let him keep him because he's had pretty good volume, I guess, still for the last week or so. And it was the helper. He had it all, like, loading it onto the cart to bring it across the street. They parked on the opposite side of the street. dumped the whole cart into the street, into the gutter, into the rain. And then tore the big hole in the box. I was like, oh, man. So they're like, yeah, when you open this, if it's all, torn up, let us know. Ryan Weathers for the Padres, Bowman Sterling continuity. There's a nice little Hunter Green refractor for my Cincinnati Reds. And then there's Jesus Luzardo for the A's, another nice young player as a refractor. I'm kind of excited about getting the new iPad, and I'm thinking maybe, I know there's a certain amount of delay from your all's chat messages to when I see them, but I'm thinking maybe when I get the new iPad that it will not have quite as much delay, because the one I use now is, it's several years old, and I think it's just slowed down a little bit, so I'm thinking this new one might spice it up and speed it up a little bit anyway. John Duplantier, that is to 402 for the Diamondbacks. Little Arizona action. Keeping the D-backs busy. I think he's is he their number one prospect? If he's not, he's got to be in the top. He's got to be in the top 2 or 3 if he's not the number one. I'd say he's probably number 1 out of the Diamondbacks farm system. I would think, anyway. Cole Roederer, one more time, to 402 for the Cubbies. Chicago Cubbies. And that is Nick Dunn and Ryan Weathers are our 2 refractors. And we are moving on to box number 4. Of course, we still got our stuff up here in the housekeeping area. I'm just sliding it up the table a little bit. We'll be dealing with all of that shortly. There's one redemption to flip over. And then, of course, well, what am I trying to say? The cards that have multiple teams on them that we'll use random.org to award at the end of the break. And we have some blue coming out for the Twins. Number to 402, that's Blaine Enlow. Last one, remind me again who your team is. Who are we pulling for you here? You got a little mojo request coming through, but you have to forgive my poor feeble brain. I have a hard time remembering exactly who has what team every night. And I know you guys tell me a lot of times in chat, and for the life of me, I have the hardest time retaining it. So if you would indulge me and type that in there one more time and tell me who your team is, we'll try to work some mojo magic for you here. And this is Last Box Mojo, by the way. We didn't say that before we started, but it is definitely Last Box Mojo time. Jameson Hannah for the A's, and that's our Sparkle Parallel, or what I call the Sparkle Parallel. All right, you have got the Rays, the Padres, and the Indians in here. Okay. Rays, Padres, and Indians. I tell you where the Rays hit a lot is Bowman's Best. If you like Bowman's Best. Tampa Bay Rays have been hitting a lot in Bowman's Best. You probably know. You probably have seen some of those break slats where Tampa Bay just loads up out of best. It's not every case where they load up, but I think they get hits in most cases, and in some they get a lot of them. A franchise futures that's numbered. Woohoo! That is numbered to 250 for the White Sox. And that's a nice little unexpected gift to get a refractor there in our franchise futures, and numbered no less. And then you've got Sean Murphy and Grant Levine, our final, not our final two, but our, well, the final two in that pack, but not the final two for the night. All right, so we got to work on some of these mojo requests for you guys. See if we can't conjure up something you need. There's a Lenny Torres and a Tanner Dodson refractor. One was Tampa Bay, and the other one was Cleveland, wasn't it? Yeah, so we at least we found 2 refractors right there back to back. So your teams are moving in the right direction, Lexman. Moving in the right direction. This is a green for the Mets and numbered to 99. That is Justin Dunn. Nick Pratto for the Royals, and Osiris Johnson for the Marlins. Royals have a lot of up-and-coming kids. A lot of them have got a ways to go. We have the Lexington Legends here, which is the single A affiliate for the Kansas City Royals. So we've had Pratto and Melendez and all those guys played here this whole last season in Lexington for the Legends. So those kids have been playing pretty well. I got to think that Kansas City's farm system's looking up based on what I've seen coming through here anyway. That is for the Phillies. You got a Bowman Sterling continuity with Alec there headed your way. Closing in on it, guys. We're closing in on it. And gals. Guys and gals. Another one of our 2-team cards going to hang out up there. A couple of refractors. It's Padres and Pirates. And we have a little Tristan McKenzie numbered for the Indians to 499. That is paper. Looks like we've got an autograph potentially coming out here for the Marlins. Will Banfield from Miami. Diamondbacks and the Orioles walk off with our 2 refractors there. Everybody's very quiet tonight. Decompressing maybe after the work week. Although I expect a lot of people probably took off the whole week between Christmas and New Year's. Of course, New Year's is over, so I guess everybody would be back to work regardless by now, huh? Unless you had a lot of vacation. So that's the Angels and the Orioles, our 2 refractors. We should be like some of the European countries, right? Where they get like 3 months of vacation out of the year, or some crazy amount like that. I'd like to have that plan. Probably would make people more productive, honestly. Mitchell White and Jeter Downs were the 2 refractors. All right, we have got the Pirates with a blue paper parallel to 150. That's Ke'Bryan Hayes. He's a pretty good little prospect for Pittsburgh. I see what I believe is going to be an Angels autograph here. And it's Jordan Adams, numbered to 250. So you got the purple parallel as well for Jordan Adams. Armenteros for the A's, and then you had Mitchell for the Pirates. Last pack, guys. Last pack in the last box of this half of the case. Of course, again, we do still have the redemption to flip over, so you don't want to wander off too far until we get that done. And then we've got those cards that have 2 teams on them that we'll be distributing as well. A little gold waits for us here in the last pack with Nolan Gorman to 50. This is paper for the St. Louis Cardinals. Of course, we will also recap after we take care of our redemption and handling our cards that need to be awarded using random. After all of that, we will come back and recap things. St. Louis Cardinals have a nice one. That is Griffin Roberts to 499. Nice little hit there for the Cardinals out of our last pack tonight. Okay, so to that end, let's get ourselves situated here as to what we're going to be recapping. We'll recap the color, the Bowman Sterling continuities, the sparkles, and of course the autographs. These are the cards we'll be giving out by random in a minute. In the meantime, what do we have here? Ryan Weathers. Oh, and it's on one of the 20th anniversary ones. Ah, that's really cool. That's really cool. I like that. So we had 2 really nice parallels out of here because we had the class of 2018, of course, was the Casey Mize parallel was on that. So that's pretty cool to see. Let's go ahead and get this up here. This is the 1998 Bowman 20th anniversary is the card set that we're looking for here. And then, of course, we're just going to find Ryan Weathers on there. I believe he's a Padre. But we got to go in here and find him and make sure of that, because sometimes I do get them turned around in my head and get them wrong. And somewhere, apparently, I went right past it. Where did I go past it? Well, where are you, man? Where's that card set? Not recommended viewing. I swear to you, I do this every time with Bowman Draft. I somehow overlook what I'm trying to find every single time. And, well, anyway, Ryan Weathers right there, Padres. So that is correct. He is a Padre. I thought he was, but you always want to go and check, and that way we know for sure, and everybody saw it, and it's all good. Now, our cards that have 2 different teams on them. Here's the deal. I'm going to go to random.org, and I'm going to type in left side, right side, and whatever random gives us, we'll hit random 3 different times, which is always the number that I do it. If I have 9 or fewer items in a list, if we have 10 or more, we just do it once. Obviously, left and right is only 2 items in the list. So we'll type in left and right. I'll hit random 3 different times. And then at the 3rd random, our final random, will be the determining factor as to whether those cards are going to go to the team that you see on the left side of each one, or whether it's going to go to the team that you see on the right side of each one. So that's what we're going to take care of right now. Look through them there so you could see all the cards involved. We'll look through them again as soon as random is done. All right, so you can ignore this first one, if it ever even goes. There it finally went. Ignore the second one, and here comes our 3rd and final. There you'll see 3 times our date and time stamp. It ends up with the left-hand side of the card. So these will go White Sox, Blue Jays, Rocky, Tiger, Yankee, Ranger, Tiger, Ranger, Rocky, White Sox, Ranger, Tiger, Ray, Royal, White Sox, Brewers. Okay, that's how those are going. Now, our unnumbered special inserts anyway. The Bowman Sterling continuity for the Phillies with Alec. Got one of the Sparkles, Jameson Hannah for the A's. You have Ryan Weathers for the Padres with the Bowman Sterling continuity. Tristan Casas Sterling continuity for the Red Sox. A Sterling continuity. Brady Singer for the Royals. And then Albert Abreu for the Yankees in another one of our little Sparkles. These are our non-autographed things that are color, okay, but non-autographed. So Nolan Gorman to 50 for the Pirates, to 150, Cabrian Hayes. Tristan McKenzie to 299 for the Indians. You have Justin Dunn to 99 for the Mets. This is for the White Sox, number to 250, a franchise futures refractor. Enlow to 402 for the Twins. This is to 402 for the Cubs with a Roederer. Duplantier to 402 for the Diamondbacks. Our only orange is to 25. It's Bobby Bradley for the Indians. The Tigers to 150 with Fado. The Rangers to 250 with Irizarry. The Reds with Ciani to 499. White Sox to 150, Robert. White Sox with Delgado to 250. Soto, Tigers, 499. The Astros, that is numbered to 402. The White Sox to 499. The A's to 99. The White Sox to 50. The Indians to 250. The Mets to 299. Tigers to 402 with Cody Clemens. Mitch Keller and the Pirates to 402. And the Twins with Graterol to 250. So that's our non-autographed color for the night. Our autographs, we have the nice redemption for 1998 Bowman 20th anniversary autograph, Ryan Weathers and the Padres. Griffin Roberts, that is numbered to 499. It's the St. Louis Cardinals. Jordan Adams to 250 for the Angels. Will Banfield for the Marlins. For the Cubbies, it's Cole Roederer. Detroit Tigers, Parker Meadows, green parallel to 99. Grayson Rodriguez for the Orioles to 499. Jackson Kowar for the Kansas City Royals. This is a really cool class of 2018 insert, numbered to 250. It's Casey Mize for the Detroit Tigers. Then the Cardinals hit Nolan Gorman. You came out with Alec Thomas for the Diamondbacks. And this is a really nice little hit for Travis Swaggerty and the Pittsburgh Pirates that got us started tonight with our on-card autograph there on your parallel. So that is this half case of Bowman. I will put up spreadsheet information one final time for anybody who wants to take a look at what we're going to be breaking in the days ahead. And we will also go over the shipping, potential shipping schedule again as well. So if you hang tight here for a second, I will get that information rolling back through here one final time for anybody who's interested in checking it out. We'll take a look at it. So tomorrow night is Optic. On Sunday, we're going to do Premier Gear Baseball. For those of you who are interested in memorabilia, that is all game-used memorabilia. We just don't know what it's going to be. It could be cleats, glove, bat, hat. And from what I'm told, just about any type of equipment or apparel used in the game apparently is fair game for Premier Gear. It is a player break, so the spots will be listed by the player name on that, not by the team name. We'll also open a 10-box case of Leaf Best of Football on Sunday. Monday night, we'll do Triple Play Baseball. That is more autographed memorabilia with 3 autographed items in it. We'll do an 8-box case of Playbook Football. That's the last of the Playbook. A 12-box case of Contenders Basketball. That's the last of Contenders Basketball. On Tuesday night, Leaf Best of Football again, and we'll get back into some Bowman's Best Baseball on Tuesday night as well. On Wednesday, we're looking at a half case of autographed mini football helmets. It'll be the start of a new case. We're going to do Optic Football again, but it will be the first off-the-line Optic. Haha, twist, right? Yeah. So there's hardly any base cards in it, but there are more hits, and there are fewer cards. It's a pretty quick break, but it's a good one. And there's more boxes per case than regular optics. 14 boxes in the case of First Off the Line. We will also do a 12-box case of Leaf Ultimate Draft Baseball on Wednesday night, which is its release day. So, and from what I can tell from the marketing materials anyway, the checklist looks to be pretty solid, including some of our current year rookies like Ohtani and Acuna, and some of those guys looks like I think are in there. Shipping wise, once again, for the mini helmets, that's a free shipping break. I always project those out a week after the fact or thereabouts. So should be on the way to you no later than Friday the 11th, a week from today. Most likely will be sooner. For this Bowman draft, I've got it projected to be out to you by Wednesday. I'm trying very hard to get it to you sooner. I know that's slower than I normally am. I get that, guys, and I'm sorry. It's just still dealing with those days where I was sick and I was not working at full capacity, but I'm getting us there. Of course, consolation cards don't come into play for Bowman Draft because every team pulled cards in here. For the mini helmet, if your team wasn't pulled, your consolation card normally goes with your next package. If you want it out sooner, you let me know and I will take care of that for you. So that has got us wrapped up for tonight. And Buckeye, yes, he was a Padre, of course. We did go verify that online too. Latchman's happy that he got a redemption. But Latch, you ought to be happy with that number too. You had, didn't you have a Cleveland Indian to 25? I think you did. Listen, that Latchman, that I know you. Some of this is kind of new territory to you on some of this stuff. Listen, some of those numbered cards that are not autographed in Bowman can be worth some money. So I believe you got that orange came your way. You may have had some other numbered things too. So always check that out because sometimes that's worth more than the autographs that you pull. So don't give up on those, Latchman. Always check out the value of them too. Chris, you're asking about Topps Chrome Sapphire. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. It's kind of sitting there to remind me that I need to do something with it yet. And I don't know if I'm going to break it or if I'm going to sell it or if I'm going to open it or if I'm going to do some of each. I don't really know what I'm going to do with it yet. But it is sitting there to remind me that I need to do something with it. We are going to do a baseball mixer sometime in the next couple of weeks. We'll probably do another football and another basketball as well, maybe even next weekend. So some of that could show up, Chris, in a mixer at some point, or I may do it at a freestanding break. I don't really know. I need to decide what I'm going to do with it, and I haven't quite decided yet. But that's why it's sitting there, is to remind me that I got to do something with it. So. And plus, I just, it stacks up there right in that spot perfectly. It like fills up that little space just perfectly. So there's that. All right, that is it for me tonight. Thank you once again, everyone, for being part of the break this evening. I appreciate you being here. Hopefully, I will see you again tomorrow night, or if not tomorrow night, sometime soon. In the meantime, enjoy your weekend. Take care, and we'll see you the next time. Bye now.